I change the saturation on this thing. It's a little too saturated for my liking. We'll see if anybody shows up. If not, we'll just delete it. Oh, hi. I have somebody. Shocker. I don't know how well this is going to go over because I just now got my husband up. And I don't know if he's going to be throwing a fit. Hey, so obviously I have some west coast people because it's only like what 1 a.m. where y'all are probably, unless you're crazy like me and then you're up. I got a couple hours before I got to go to bed, so I just got him up. He's running behind, but hey, I said I was going to go live earlier, and then I started going down TikTok wormholes. So yeah, I'm actually surprised anybody's showed up, to be honest. I did not think that was going to happen. I figured I was going to turn it on and then turn it off. West Coast, but I stay up till the sun comes up. Yeah, me too. That's my schedule. I get him up, get him going. I don't actually have to take him though, so that's plus. It's kind of cold out. I mean, not really, but it's kind of cold out. I'd have to put on sneakers. Let's put it that way. So there's that. So yeah, I'm probably up for the next 3-ish hours. I figured I told everybody I would go live, and then I didn't, and now here I am. So you wish it got cold. It was cold here. It's not bad. I mean, it's not awful. It's just chilly, I guess. But I live in flip flops, so when you go outside and it's like almost dawn, it like the ground is all dewy and shit, and so your feet get really wet and gross. So if I take him, I got to put on sneakers, and my sneakers fight with me. They don't like me. I try to put them on, and they get stuck on my feet. So here I am. The live may end abruptly if he comes in like a tiger. I keep going in there, and I'm like, get up. He's got to go to work a little bit early today. So normally he's getting up at this time. So he's not really functioning very well. So yeah, I would say it's probably 60 something here. I'll guess maybe even 50 something. I don't know. Let's look. It is 50. It's 50. So it's a little chill. It's not awful, but it's a little chill. So I was on a panel earlier with Fancy. We decided to go live for a little bit, and I did my live at 8 o'clock, and then at about 9 o'clock we switched over to a trauma live. We did a trauma live for about an hour and 20 minutes. Took a break. Went live with Fancy for a little bit, and here I am now. I took a bath in between the trauma live and going live with Fancy, and I was in this like hot. Oh my god, I was so hot. I took this entirely too hot bath, and I was like super hot. And I got out of there, and I'm like, well, I kind of want to go live. I kind of don't. I kind of don't have anything to say. So she went live, and I just kind of sat down in the box for a little while. Then we ended it, and I was like, yeah, I'll go live. And then I didn't. So you're in Alabama. I am in Kentucky. So, Louisiana. Got it. Well, you say LA can be LA or LA can be Louisiana. People just kind of jump to that conclusion, kind of. So, I've actually managed to be somewhat productive. I did 3 loads of laundry. I still got a couple more to do. He's getting ready. He's bringing his blanket out, I think. I think I'm supposed to wash it. She's passed out. She's under the bed. She's under the bed. She's under the desk. She's sleeping. So, hey, I hear noises coming from that end of the house. So, I think he's on his way in here. He's barely functioning. I can tell. So, yeah, I gotta take the color saturation down a little bit. My hair is really not this yellow. So I'm gonna take it down just a touch. It's also making my red shirt look orange. I feel like there's a little bit too much yellow involved. So welcome to the land of the living. Yeah. I'm up like this every night, and I get him up about 4:15 usually every night. Oh God, I have dogs and they're running at me. I'm gonna tell him his blanket. He's gonna tell me to wait till tomorrow. Oh no! You are wet. Huh? Oh, did you put the blanket in the wash?
Yes, I did.
Awesome.
I have not started it yet.
No, don't start it because I'm gonna start it when I get up.
Just getting ready to say that's for you to do.
Yeah.
How'd you do your pills with your pill container?
That's for my other pill. That's for my pill that belongs in here.
What did I do with those scissors?
They were over here. I just moved them. They were over here somewhere. I don't know.
Scissors.
Just pop it out of there. You're fine.
I don't. I want to take it with me to work.
Oh, okay. They were over here somewhere.
There they are.
Okay.
I found them.
Okay. You gonna do it when you get to work?
I'm gonna do it while I'm down south.
Oh, okay. Hold on. This is our morning. Thank you. Don't forget to grab that trash bag.
Yeah.
All right. So it's trash day. Pepper, do not even you are a wet little mess. No, you're all wet. Ew, get off me.
Pepper.
No, Buddy's wet
All
too.
of you.
They're all wet. They were all playing in the. I told you the grass is like dewy.
Yeah, it's humid as shit where we live.
Yeah, so it's all dewy.
Always.
It's really dewy, and they're really dewy, and so.
Ow! Fuck me.
Buddy's trying to get under the bed. I'm not really sure what his end game is here.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's cold out
He's
there.
He's trying to dry himself off like he just got a bath.
51 degrees.
Yeah, it's 50 out. I just checked. So.
Amazon still hasn't taken my money yet.
Well, they'll figure it out.
Starting to piss me off.
They probably will soon. What shirt are you wearing today, Jay? Do you have a shirt on underneath it or just that?
No, just this.
Just that. This is our
Son of a
morning.
Bitch.
What happened?
Now there's deodorant all over on the inside of my shirt.
Oh, that's the worst. I hate when that happens. Stop. No, we are not doing whatever it is you're doing down there. I'm not sure what it is you're doing, but don't do it. Yeah, this is our morning. This is what it's like.
I got toes stuck in my head.
Toes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Zach Brown.
Toes in the water, ass in the sand. Okay.
Where in the world a cold beer in my hand? Life is good today. Life is good today.
I hope life is good today for you today,
But
babe.
I got that. My
Wait,
bartender.
no. What?
My bartender, she's from the islands. Her body's been kissed by the sun. Coconut
Send help.
This is the smell of the bar, and I don't.
Okay,
know
enough.
her or the rum.
Okay, enough.
That's the part I got stuck in my head.
Gotcha. All right.
Bronx. Sydney's.
Yeah, all the dogs are running around, and
Sydney's.
I think he's putting a trash bag in before he leaves.
Get away from there.
They're like, but wait.
But wait, there's more.
Right. But wait, there's stuff in the trash and we want it. Hey, babe, take a look over at my screen. Look how good.
Yep, looks great.
Yeah. So.
Looks a lot better.
Yeah. It just keeps auto-focusing and driving me batshit, though. It's not.
Yeah, but the thing about that is, if you got something small you want to show the.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I know. It did. It worked well.
keeps say like
Yeah, I know I've done it. Thanks. I don't need you to give me something. He's gonna do it anyway.
we use my D20.
Literally told him I don't need to do this, but he's gonna do it anyways because why not?
But look, you see
Yeah.
how it's not focusing? If you go like that,
Yep. Now watch. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Watch. Okay, now watch it do this and watch the sides. It'll be on me, and then it like refocuses and it like moves the screen a little bit, and it's driving me crazy. It's not doing it now, of course, but it just did it as you walked away. Because why not? Why not? Yeah. But I can show you guys like text messages, and it won't blur really weird. So I mean that's a plus. You know, for those times I can get a privacy violation. Are you going out right now? Or are you coming back in?
no, I'm not coming back. So
All right. I'll talk to you later.
yep, love
Love
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Drive safe. Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Bye.
All the big dogs. Come on. Sids. Where you at, Sids?
She's not in here. She must have already went out.
Oh, there you are. Standing here behind me.
Bye. This is that was only a portion of our morning. 45 minutes of that was me saying get out of bed. He got out of bed pretty well, to be honest. I mean, considering he had to wake up like almost an hour early, so I can't even fault him for it. So if y'all are gonna be in here with me, I'm gonna need you to help me. I need you to talk. Mansplaining? I don't know. I think he just wanted to show off his dice, to be honest. I'm like, I've already shown that because I showed you guys a text message or something and it worked fine. So I just don't want to take the webcam off like I normally do. So thanks, Timu. Timu. I get all my hoodies for like $12 and I live in them. Like I will wear a hoodie in 75-degree weather half the time. I'm going to need you to not even come near me, Pepper. She is literally just sopping. She went outside. I let him outside to go outside in the morning, and I left him out a little too long. I left him out there for like 20 minutes, and when they came in, they are now wet. Super wet. And they smell like dog. Because why not? They smell like wet dog. So, you guys are up. I'm up. Does anybody want to be up? My eyes keep unfocusing. This is very disconcerting. My eyes keep like ugh. That extra it is. No, you have to understand. My husband doesn't he like basically came home and went straight to bed. Like he got in bed. He came home at like 7. He had to eat and bring the dog food in. And he was in bed by 8 to get up, except he can't go to sleep. So he went to bed about 8, a little after 8. Takes him a little bit of time because he just gets off work to like calm his brain. And then he normally gets up at about 4:15 and I went in there at 3:30. So what do I think about her ultrasound? I don't know. From what I could see, it was an ultrasound. What am I supposed to think of it? My daughter, I can tell you my daughter went for her 16-week ultrasound and that's exactly what it looked like. So, I mean, like almost exactly. We had videos up and hers looked exactly like that. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, that baby is older than what it is. She went exactly on like 16 weeks and that's exactly what it looked like. I mean, I could show you. It's privated on my account. It looked just like it. She went to I took her to one of those bougie ultrasound places. You know, she got the one that you get at the doctor's office. It sucks, but I took her to one of those bougie places, and that's exactly what it looked like. So, I mean, I don't see a discrepancy, but like, I guess other people do, whatever. I mean, I could literally show you. I don't even know. Let me see if I could pull it up. God damn it, really, dude? This might be hard. Hold on. Where's my privated videos? Okay, let's see. There's a lot of videos. Like a lot. And then I spun so hard that like they're not even loading. Yeah, they're like not even loading at this point. I thought I might be able to show you guys, but they're like not even loading. You missed the smell of wet dog. Yeah, I can't even get him to load, dude. Oh yeah, now there's okay. Nope, there is like hundreds of video. I mean, I think there's 1,000 videos, honestly, on here. It was like 1,037 or something. So I can't even imagine where the hell 16 weeks would be, to be honest. Yeah, I think we're at like 30 weeks, 22 weeks. Hold on. Oh shit. 28 weeks. I think I started going backwards. I don't know. I've been to Sweet Pea for 5 years. Yeah. It's not cheap to go to one of those bougie places, I can tell you that. Hello. Yeah, I think because I know that you had shown them before, but you thought you were thinking about adopting a dog. I just had a miscarriage last month and now I have baby fever. I think I would wait. Just saying, I think I would wait. Yeah, I can't even get this shit to load. This is frustrating. Oh, I think this was this.
So we actually had to take a break to
Let's
wake
see.
him up and go back for another shoot.
Yeah, okay, that was at the bougie place, but that's not what I wanted to show you. That is so irritating. By the way, for people who think that you can't be big, you can be. At like a small thing. A dog would be better than a baby right now? Probably. There's still a big commitment though, so I mean, I can't get anything to fucking load on this goddamn thing. This is so frustrating. Oh, they'll do it this way now. Figure that out. Yeah, I can't find it. I was gonna show you the bougie place, but it's not working. Like I said, there's literally like 1,000 fucking videos on this freaking account. Yeah, they're not showing up. The one I was looking for. Oh yeah.
Nice.
We did you can't even see it after I went through all that. They have, but yeah, it was literally the same thing, honestly. Hold on. Yoda, get out of there. Jesus Christ. Get out of there. Get out. You don't need to be in here. All right, sorry about that. How far along were you? Do you want to talk or no? My longest one only lasted maybe 6 weeks, which was my first one. It was about 6 weeks. And then everyone after that was pretty in and out. Basically, positive, gone, positive, gone, positive, gone. I guess that's why for me it was never a big deal. Because, like, I didn't have time to, like, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people, like, freak out. Like, I know people that, like, were devastated at 6 weeks. And I'm like, it really wasn't that, for me, it wasn't a big deal. But, like, everybody's different. So, I can't really say. I mean, I know people who have, like, lost it, like, 6 months. And it's like, oh my gosh. I mean, you're used to it. You're probably, like, buying stuff. And, you know, I can't really imagine what that would be like. I mean, like, when my daughter went to, like, pregnancy classes, they had, like, silicone babies at, like, each step. Like, they were the same weight and size. It was trippy. It was trippy. Like, I could show you, because I took pictures of her with these, like, silicone lifelike babies. And it's like, that really puts it in perspective when you're literally, like, holding this, like, silicone baby. It's kind of trippy, to be honest. I've never really been good at, I don't know, it's weird. Like, I'm a good person to listen to, but, like, I suck at condolences. Definitely a downfall of mine. I'm really not good at condolences, I guess. Probably because, like, I don't know, my brain doesn't process things very well. Like, I still don't even know if it's processed my mom's passing 6 years ago. If that makes any sense, probably not. I don't know if it's like a coping mechanism, probably a coping mechanism. Blessing and a curse. Honestly, blessing and a curse. You know, it's a great self-preservation mode, but at the same time, like, do you ever actually get over anything if you don't deal with it? Probably not. I think I have a lot of unresolved trauma. So I'm not the best at I'm not the best at making people feel better, really. I wish I was better at it, but I'm basically a good ear to listen. I just not great at making, like, articulating it, I guess. So, are you guys here? Like, chat was there and then it, like, stopped. So, I don't know if you guys are here or what. I dyed my hair to get rid of my roots, and it looks really, really yellow in this webcam, and it's not. So now I'm going to have to change the saturation because my hair looks yellow, and it's not. I usually put toner on it because I can't stand brassy blonde. Brassy blonde irritates the shit out of me. So it's 4:40. I could technically go to bed. I got him up and gone, and normally I can't go to bed till like 7 or 8, but he's already gone. Normally he doesn't leave for about another hour. And then if I have to take him, it's an hour because I got to take him about half hour there, half hour back. And so I usually don't end up going to bed till like 8 o'clock most days if I have to take him. I have to reset my clock. I had to clear off my entire desk. I'm going to have to do it again. It's going to be a freaking disaster. But I unplugged my clock thinking it was something else. And I have to reset my clock again. And my clock is a pain in the ass to set. So as of right now, it is 7:30 on a Sunday on January 1st. Am I ever going to dye it a different color? I've dyed it a million different colors. A million different colors. I've had literally every color. It's just most colors just don't look right on me. I spent a lot of time, a lot of my life pink. Like a pinky red color. Let's see if I can find some. I forgot what I was doing. Okay, there we go. All right, hold on. Where's my photos on this one? We have photos on this one. Where's my photo thing? Friends, photos. There we go. All right, let's see. Photos, albums. I spent, let's see. Pink. Can you see? I spent a lot of my time. There we go. Pink. Red. Like super red. I've always been really, really white though, so. Black. I've done all different colors. Blonde. Super pink. It's actually pink. It looks kind of red, but that's pretty pink. So there's a pinky pink. That was when that's when the red decides it's gonna leave and it ends up pink. I miss this, to be honest. Just real short and pink. So here's my long blonde hair. See, I actually had long hair ish. Long-ish. Weirdly, and by the way, this is practically not dyed. This was my natural. I don't know what happened, but like my hair was literally almost that dark at one point. My hair kind of grows in whatever color the fuck it wants to grow in. It's kind of weird, to be honest. I mean, it was a little dyed, I'm not going to lie, but it was not that dyed. It's dyed more when it's blonde. I didn't realize how long my hair actually had gotten. Damn. I've had short hair for so long. Yeah. Oh shit, hold on. Yeah, brown doesn't look right on me anymore. It looks okay if it's like longer, but like it's a little bit longer than it is now. But man, my one pupil's really big in that picture. Just one. That is weird. I just looked at that. Like my one pupil is exponentially bigger than the other one. Look. Go on. Look. My one pupil is way bigger than the other pupil. That is fucking weird. That is strange. I've never noticed that in that picture before. Longer blonde hair. So been kind of all over the place. I only really ever took pictures of me in either blonde, brown, black, or red. Just picture me completely bald. I've been completely bald a few times, like bald. Like bald. I've kind of just been all over the place. This is weird. I got like old pictures, new pictures. I think it's just titled me. So here's me and Mr. We were 16 and 17 there. Remember these old photo booths back in the day where you'd get in the photo booth and it would like print out pictures of you? I have another one somewhere. I don't know how that one got thrown in here. That's weird. Yeah, the good old days. I don't know if I have pictures of me. Like I had a whole thing of me and my husband. There we go. Is the other black and white one in here? Oh yeah, here's the other black and white one. I loved the black and white things. I loved those where they would like you'd go to a thing and you'd like they'd like draw you out. I miss those. I haven't been to those. I haven't got to do those in forever. They don't really do those anymore, you know? Yeah. Got a lot of photos on this account. This is my old account. I had to abandon this Facebook. I was getting 30-day bans. I couldn't keep my mouth shut in Facebook groups, so I would literally get 30-day bans. So I basically abandoned it. All right, let's see. Hold on. Well, that was 18. This is 18 weeks. I mean, we got him sucking his thumb at 18 weeks. But I guess that's not the 16 weeks she's supposed to be at. So then we paid I went there and I don't remember, but we got some good, the 4D ones where like you can see everything. They're creepy. Not gonna lie, they're creepy. We got those at 28 weeks, yeah. Those are the creepy ones. But yeah. Oh, I think you just made it to work. Sorry, I hadn't. Somebody just updated their Facebook that I haven't heard hide nor hair from in like almost a year, and I was like, wait, what? All right, but anyway, sorry. I don't get on Facebook like super often. I used to, but I don't really that much anymore. So I was a little confused when I'm like, I haven't heard from that person in like a year. They weren't talking to me; they just posted or whatever. What, Miss Sis? She's half asleep, half awake, just going, Sissy. And nope, I'm sleeping. This one's about to bite the dust too. I'm running out, and I can't. I don't know how many. You can only get these like on a website. I've been getting them in town, but they're about to run out, and I'm gonna have to. If I want any, I'm gonna have to get them off a website. That's gonna be frustrating as shit. I hate ordering stuff like disposables and juice and stuff off websites. They want you to have an electronic signature, and they charge you out the fucking nose when they deliver it. So it's frustrating. I'm just sitting here slowly charging everything over here. Y'all are here, but you're being quiet as shit. I got a apple pie one here, a strawberry cheesecake, and a Portuguese fruit tart. And then I'm doing in this Fuji apple strawberry nectarine, which that company went belly up. So I bought pretty much every bottle but one. I ran out of money. Bought like every bottle but one. Won't be able to find that anymore. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. I'm not like, if vaping goes by side, I'm done, because I don't like smoking cigarettes. I don't like, ugh, it leaves a nasty flavor. I'm good. Like, if something happens and I can't vape anymore, I'm done. That's it. I'll just quit. I'll be all right. I've only smoked for 2 years. I'll be fine. I'll be able to do it. Lemon pie. Oh, I couldn't do it. I could not do lemon pie. I'm not a lemon fan, except for lemon jelly beans. Lemon jelly beans are my favorite. weirdly. They taste like floor cleaner. Or how I would imagine floor cleaner to taste. Don't ask. It doesn't make sense to me either, but for some reason I like lemon jelly beans. They're my favorite. That's the only candy. Well, no, I like the clear gummy bears. The red and clear gummy worms are the best. The clear is supposed to be like pineapple or something. That's what this is supposed to be. That's what this one's supposed to be. It's called Baby Bear. And I guess it's supposed to be the clear gummy bear. But it's like, I don't like icy. It's well, it's not as icy as it could be, I guess. I don't like that menthol. Like, whenever, that's why I like these, because they don't give you that icy hit. These ones do. It's not as icy as some though. Oh, I turned it. You can change it to where it's like icy or half icy. And I hit the wrong lever. Yeah. That's the bad part about a lot of disposables is they're just so fucking icy. I tried this one before I bought it, and it wasn't awful. It's not. It's doable. Let's put it that way. It's doable. Which I had to drive 2 hours to get this one. I was down by his mom. But I mean, you couldn't beat it. It was like $7, and it does either 8,000 or 16,000 puffs. And I bought 2 of that one, and then I bought a sour apple. The sour apple's awful. I don't even know what I did with it, but it wasn't good. I figured it would be good. I like sour apple, but no, it's not good. It tasted strange. But now, like, I can feel like the icy even on my lips. Not a huge fan. My desk, I took my cover off my desk. Yes, I have a cover on my desk. I took it off and washed it, and now my desk is a fucking disaster, and I don't know how I'm going to put this thing back on. He's going to have to help me. He's going to have to lift up my PlayStation, because I am not going to be able, the way this thing is plugged in, I'm not going to be able to lift it up on my own. So one of us is going to have to lift it up while I put the cover back on. Works at a vape shop. Yeah, I tried to get a job at a vape shop, but the problem is in Kentucky, they just signed a bill saying essentially we can't vape anymore. Like, well, you can't. Kentucky's not going to sell but FDA approved products starting January of next year. So I'll be going to Tennessee. Luckily, I don't live very far from Tennessee. You just can't buy it. I don't know if they'll let you send it to your house. Probably not. But I can go to Tennessee, so I don't care. I live really close to Tennessee. And we go see his mom. So we can always get it when we go see her. So kind of stocking up my vape juice drawers. Kind of bulgy right now. I've been basically buying up everything. So I have that damn Pink Sky song in my head. That song ends up rent free in my head a lot. I get it stuck in my head. And like every video on TikTok is awful with that song. So today I had him take the car because I think he's going to be home somewhat early. So there was no point in me keeping it because like I'll be asleep most of the day. By the time I go to bed and get up and everything, he should probably be just about getting home probably. So I figure if I go to bed, I'll go to bed a little bit earlier than I normally do. That way I can get up a little bit before he gets home. Get a couple things done. I wake up and I like immediately panic every time I get up because I'm like, I have so much to do. I really don't. I don't know why I do that. Today I freaked the fuck out. I woke up and I like went into straight ass panic mode, started crying. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, This is just your ADHD defective thinking. You're overthinking everything. He's like, you don't have that much to do. And at first I got mad. I'm like, what do you mean I have a lot to do? And then I started thinking about it and I'm like, I actually don't really have a lot to do. So I split some of it today and tomorrow. So, well, yesterday and today. I'm not really sure how that works. I haven't went to bed yet. Everything is today until I go to sleep. So it's technically still yesterday for me. It's kind of strange because like I get up at a weird time in the afternoon, and then my daytime is actually the next day, kind of. So it's a little weird to talk about today or yesterday because it's still yesterday to me technically. That makes any sense? Probably not. Good night, Nancy. Trying to see if I got paid yet. Not yet, but then again, the banks aren't technically open, so don't know what I was really expecting. I have a headache though. I just started my book. I didn't get very far. I took my book in my bathtub with me, but my bath was so hot that I had to get out early. Normally I can knock out 50, 60 pages, and I think I knocked out like 15. And I realized I was sweltering to death and I needed to get out of there, so wasn't super productive there. I hate that you can't play music on YouTube. It's frustrating. My lives on TikTok, I always played music. I hate that. There's supposed to be a site that you can like play like royalty free music, but it all sucks. So what's the point? Kind of takes the fun out of it when you only have a certain amount that you can do. You guys are killing me. You're not helping me at all. I wanted to go live and talk to you guys, and everybody's sitting in here not talking, and I feel like I don't have anything to say. I guess I just didn't want to be alone. Most of my friends are usually up at least most of the night, but I think everybody went to bed early. So it's kind of frustrating. I'm sorry. I don't really have any family. Oh, my foot's asleep. Holy crap. I don't really have family. I had a cousin die the same year that my mom and my uncle died. My mom died, and then my cousin died, and then my uncle died. So it was like, but not really had anything until since 2018. Knock on wood there. But like again, I don't think I process anything. I really don't. Sorry to hear that though. I know. I kind of suck. You're more sad for his mother, daughter, and siblings. Yeah. I don't. I have cousins, but like, I don't. If that makes sense. My cousins are the people that I consider my cousins. I grew up with them being my cousins. Is my great uncle's ex-wife's sister's kids. And to this day, they're really the only ones I talk to. Like when I went back to Michigan 2 years ago, I saw them, and then a second cousin of mine. But I just don't have a lot of family to speak of, really. So I guess, when people talk about their so-and-so dying, I don't really know what that's like because I never had it to begin with. So it's kind of hard to imagine. And people talk about all the time, like I'll see tons of TikToks or people be like, my grandma died. And I'm like, I never had a grandma. Like, I'm not trying to one up you. I don't understand it. I didn't have grandparents. So it's weird for me when people are upset about their grandparents dying, because I'm like, I never had any. The closest thing I had was my great grandma, which I had she was buried on my 5th birthday. That was all I ever had was my great grandma. And I was very, very close to her for those 5 years, but I didn't know my dad's parents. His mom hated me because I asked to be here. Barely knew his dad. I think I met him like twice. And then my mom's mom died when she was 15. My mom's dad was murdered 6 years before I was born, except then only after she died did we find out he wasn't even my grandpa. And then we figured out who my grandpa was, and he was dead too. So I mean, I never had grandparents. So my husband has grandparents, and they're still alive. They're like 90s. They're kicking still. I don't even have parents now. Like, I never had grandparents, and I don't have parents now. So like, people talk about losing stuff, and I'm just over here like, well, I don't really know what to say or do. Your mother's mother had 16 children. Jesus Christ. I have cousins on my dad's side. We don't get along. Like, at all. We never have. And then my mom's sister and brother never had kids. And then after my mom died, I found out she had like 6 or 7 other brothers and sisters, but I didn't fucking know that. So I, to this day, have no idea if I have cousins. I mean, I do. I know I do, but I've never met any of them, and I've only been in contact with one of them. So I never had that. I just had my second cousins, which was my great uncle's kids. I grew up with them being my cousins. It's about as close as I got. So your dad was one of 8. Like I said, my mom had 2 siblings that I knew growing up. Only after she died, I think she had 6 or 7 from her dad. Weirdly, my mom had a sister named the same thing. First and middle. Which was weird. It was weird. My mom had a sister with the same first name and middle name. And they didn't think that one through very well at all. But I don't think my grandfather, he was just kind of one of those rolling stones. So I don't even think he knew his kids' names. I mean, maybe he did. I don't know. But they weren't like, they had different moms. So, doing the math, my grandfather was probably a teenager when he had my mom. And that was his second kid. After my mom died, I found out that I always told her something was wrong. Like, my whole life, I told her, I was like, there's something wrong here. I'm like, you don't look like your brother and sister. Like her sister looks like me. Her sister looks like me. And my mom is like darker skin, darker hair. And her brother and sister are pale like me. Her sister's blonde like me. And then I saw a picture of my mom's dad. And they are spitting images of each other like creepily. COPD. My mom smoked every day of her life from the time she was 15. And she drank like a fish. Surprisingly, the drinking did not kill her. The cigarettes did. She had osteoporosis. And between the osteoporosis and this drinking and the smoking, her doctor was like, her bones are pretty much mush. She had to have every vertebra in her body replaced, put cement into. I don't know if you guys know anything about putting cement in the vertebra, but she had to do that to pretty much every one of her vertebrae. She was a disaster by the time she passed. Like, she was in the hospice bed, and broke a vertebra. And she's like, so what am I going to fix? I'm like, you're not, Mom. You're going to die. Like, she wasn't completely cognizant at that time. When you have COPD and you're starting to wind down, the CO2 starts to really fuck with your brain. And so, like, she wasn't super cognizant for the last, little while. My dad and grandmother died of colon cancer pretty much right on top of each other, so that's great for me. Scared to death, no big deal. But yeah, I put the hospice my mom was in. They actually allowed beer, but she didn't get to have one. And one of her last fucking things, she was like, I just want a cigarette. I'm like, bitch, this is why you're dead. Like, it was so frustrating to me. So frustrating. I'm like, you are literally sitting here about to die, and you're still sitting here telling me you want a cigarette. Like, what is wrong with you? I was angry. For sure. It's hard not to be angry. I wasn't young. Like, I lost my dad. I was 26 maybe, when I lost my dad, but we weren't close, so I didn't really care. I lost my mom at 35, 36. So, I mean, like, I wasn't super young, but it felt young enough to me. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like she should have been here longer. But that's why I'm like a huge very vocal about people having kids late in life. My parents were 37 and 41 when I was born. I had siblings that were 19, 18, and 17 years older than me. I was an aunt from the time I was 3 and a great aunt from the time I was 20. Me and my nephew were 3 years apart. So, oh yeah, my mom couldn't grasp the fact that you cannot smoke with an oxygen tank. Do you have any idea how frustrating that is? She's like, I don't need an oxygen tank. I need to smoke. I'm like, you literally don't. You literally don't. I don't know. I've thought about it because I have friends who lost their parents real young. And my mother-in-law still has her parents, and she's 60. I don't know. She's like 67, and she still has her parents. I don't know what's worse, losing them young and not having a full relationship, but realizing that they're going to miss out on a significant portion of your life, or having them for a very significant portion of your life and then not knowing how to function without them. So there's, either way, it sucks. So yeah, I was a complete fucking fluke. And I have friends that had kids at 36, 37 years old. I had one friend who had kids at 39, and I'm just like over here going, you are selfish. And for anybody in here who's had kids at whatever, I'm not judging you necessarily, but as a person whose parents were 37 and 41, I just know how it made me feel. Like, when my mom would take me to kindergarten, they're like, oh, is this your grandma? No, it's my mom. Yeah, I only met my sister a handful of times. She's 19 years older than me. I can count, literally, I can only remember, I think, 3 times I've ever seen her. So me and my brother had a decent relationship till we didn't. And then my other brother, he was cool, but he spent a lot of time in prison, so I really didn't get to know him super well. So I didn't really get to know a whole lot of my family. Yeah. I never had biological kids. I couldn't have them. I was broke, so I could never have biological kids. Probably a blessing. I realized later in life when my daughter was a teen mom that babies are not for me. I dealt with what I had to because I had to, but I'm glad that I never had them myself, I guess. And I know that's weird to hear a woman say that or whatever, but I don't care. I don't care. So, no, we're not doing this. No, 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 no. Yeah. My husband's brothers, they had what was it? 3 kids, 2 kids, and 2 kids. Buddy, every night we go through this bullshit. Knock it off. You are literally barking at fuck all nothing. Nothing. You're literally sitting in a bed just barking for 0 reason. I don't know. Kids are hard. I don't know why anybody would want more than one. Yeah, I never wanted kids. I told my husband that from the minute we got together. I didn't want kids. Never wanted them. And then one day at 21, I'm just like, hey, you want to have a kid? Which, because I knew he wanted them. I didn't, but he did. So we tried for 3-4 years and I was broke. I didn't want any surprises, so he got a vasectomy. And then I had my shit yanked 5 years ago. I don't know how people do it. I really, really don't. I do not know. And then there's these people who have like 5, 6, 7 kids, and I'm just over here like, how? How? That is a lot. It's a lot of everything. It's a lot of noise. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of overstimulation. It's a lot of mess. It's a lot of things. And I just, I don't know how people do it. You know, most of my friends, they all have one usually. Most of my friends have 1 kid. Some have a couple, but most of my friends only ever had 1 kid. You had 4 because that was your dream. Yeah. I had a friend once. She went on and on how she wanted 8 kids. She got to kid 3 and was like, yeah, I'm done. Like, what would ever possess you to want 8 kids? Like, that's a lot. That is a lot. I don't know. My mom put a terror of kid raising in me from the time I could like walk. My mom told me horror stories about her pregnancy. Just absolute horror stories, which scared the shit out of me. I was more scared of being pregnant than I was of having kids. I never wanted to be pregnant. I didn't really care if I had kids. Like if I married a guy and had kids or adopted. But I never wanted to be pregnant. That was the part for me that I just never ever wanted to do that. So I know there's a lot of women who think that's like the coolest thing ever, there's a baby growing in me. And I'm like, that's a parasite. I've never, ever, ever understood the, I don't know. Um, you know, I don't know, man. When I found out my ex had 9 kids, I was just like, how do you survive? Like, I think of stupid shit when that happens. Like, how do you drive them all in a car? Those are the things that I think about. I'm like, how do you drive them all in a car? Because I saw the car that he had, and I'm like, do you take 2 cars? I'm just a very practical person, and that's all I could think of is how do you get them all in a car? You can't. You can if you have one of those transit, one of those, what is it, the Ford Transits or whatever. I guess you could then. But I'm like, how the fuck do you put 11 people in a fucking car? Like, you can't. It'd be a clown car, you know? And then, like a lot of girls, when they're in their 20s, they got a baby, their friend has a baby, and the next thing you know, you want to go anywhere, and it's you and your friend, and you got car seats lined across the back, and it's like, where do you put your groceries? Like, everything always falls back to me with how does it fit in the car? Like, that's where my brain goes. Like, if you have 3 kids across the back of the car and you don't have a very big trunk, where do the groceries go? And then the people that always really confused me were like, because I realized this was always really hard. Like, when we went grocery shopping, when my daughter could manage to have her kid and didn't have it taken by CPS, we always had to take 2 carts because, like, she had to put him in a cart, and then we'd have to have a cart for groceries. And I see these people who have like twins. How do you shop? Because if you put one in there and then you put one, where do you put your groceries? So then you have to have somebody come with you and they have to push another cart. And like, these are the stupid things that flood my brain. Like, just how do you do shit? How does it function? 16, 14, 8, and 2. I feel like that'd be good. I feel like that'd be bearable. Like, I feel like those are ages, that they're far enough apart that they're not on top of each other, but not so far apart that it's fucked up, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, but everybody I know that has a lot of kids doesn't have Suburbans. They have like normal ass cars. Like, what are you doing? Are you putting your kids in the trunk? Your mother had 6 children and we rode in a station wagon. Okay, well, that makes sense. I don't know. That's where my brain goes, you guys. This is why I don't function correctly. I think of the stupidest shit. Kids are tiny and they squish well. Yeah, but not when they have car seats. I mean, yeah, you can put, whatever, but there's car seats. You pack the groceries around them. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass. I mean, by the time, like my husband had never really go grocery shopping with us for the most part. So like, we'd have me and her, and then we'd have the baby in the car seat. And then you would just, put stuff everywhere. But, that didn't happen very often because she couldn't keep him. He kept getting pulled from her. So we didn't have a whole lot of that. I can only go off the experiences I had, and there wasn't very many. If they space it out, then the sibling can help monitor the younger ones. Is that fair, though? I mean, realistically, is that fair? I know a lot of people do it, but is it fair? Is it fair to, shove a 2-year-old on a 16-year-old? I don't think so, but like my friend, she had her kids when she was in high school. Well, she had her first kid in high school, sorry. And the other one came like the year and a half after that. And then she waited 20 years to have another one. Like, when she should be, like, my daughter and my friend were pregnant at the same time. They had their kids 2 weeks apart. And I'm like, you should, like, your child should be having kids now. Why are you having kids now? Like, I couldn't wrap my head around that. Like, her daughter was like 20, and I'm like, your daughter should be having kids, not you. I mean, to each their own, obviously, but that's just where my brain went. My mom had to watch her brother and her sister. She was 15 and they were like 6 and 7 or 7 and 8. So she had to do that. I'm not saying siblings shouldn't look out for each other, but I also don't think that, you know, a 16-year-old needs to be caring for a 2-year-old constantly. I mean, they didn't ask for it. It's important that siblings, you know, it's important, but at the same time, you know, I feel like they didn't ask for that. And I mean, that's just from me knowing people that had that happen where like they were the older sibling and like they basically had to be a second parent. And I know how it made them feel. So I guess that's where my brain goes with it. I know my mom was pissed. She always had to watch her brother and sister. She'd like have to drag them out when she went somewhere. I can't say anything. I was an only child, so I don't know what any of that's like. I didn't grow up with siblings. It was just me and my mom, so I can't really speak from any place of knowing anything. Yeah, if it's a babysitting job, that's fine, but my sister's in her 50s, or they're 10-year different, and I have a sister in the middle child. She's going to be 50 in a bit, and you're 41. That's not awful, I guess. But like, literally, my siblings were old enough to be my parents, technically. Like, not ideally, but technically. I mean, they were 17, 18, and 19 when I was born. Like, they literally could have been my parents. You think me and Fancy have a sibling-like relationship? Me and my husband have a sibling relationship. We went to psychics who have told us that we've been siblings numerous times. We have a very, very strange relationship. We're used to it though. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's like to have siblings. My husband is one of 4. And he was the disaster child. He was the disaster child. I asked his mom point blank, I'm like, how did you have 4 boys? And how the hell did you not kill my husband? My husband was a disaster. He had his first broken arm when he was 8 months old. Like, he was the most accident-prone motherfucker I've ever seen. He broke both his hands. He set his leg on fire. He was a disaster. He fell off roofs. He flipped his bike. He was a disaster. I'm like, how did you deal with him? Like, I was scared to have kids with him because if they were as accident prone as he was, like, I wasn't like that growing up. I've never broken a bone. There's a possibility I broke a toe once, but I'm not real sure. I never got it looked at. Because, as my mom said, they're just toes. Tape them together. My mom broke her legs, both of her legs, in a bar fight. She was my mom as long as I've ever. She's always been a waitress or a bartender. And there was a fight in the bar and she tried to break it up and one of the guys landed. She broke both of her legs. I think she broke something in one of her freaking car accidents. But other than that, I remember I was about 8, 9 years old. And I don't know if you guys remember these or not, but do you guys remember they're like, kind of like skee ball machines? And they had metal balls. They're like this big and they're like metal and they're heavy. Yeah. She dropped one of those on her foot. And I think it broke a couple of her toes. And that's where she was like, they're toes. Like, what does it matter? So I think I broke one of my toes once, but I'm not sure. Yeah, he's I love skee ball. I never like I've just not I've always been I've been a very cautious individual. Very, very cautious. The worst I ever really did was me and my dad were on a riding lawnmower. And he was letting me kind of like drive it around the property. And I wanted to go one way. He wanted to go the other. And the tree decided for us. So I got my hand jammed while on the steering wheel. That's about as broken as I've ever been. Was I hit a tree head on a lawnmower. I've always been really lucky. I don't know. Thank God, I guess. But my mom had quite a few mishaps. Most of them involving drinking. Not even gonna lie. Yeah, my husband jumped off his roof and broke his hands or hand or something. He broke something when he jumped off the roof. He would his bedroom was on the second floor. And he used to sneak out. He was an awful child. He was so bad. I don't know how I ended up with him. He's so the absolute opposite of me. Jesus Christ, Star, what the fuck is wrong with you? I dislocate things all the time. But that's part of having, Ehlers. You just literally last night I dislocated my shoulder trying to get into bed. It sucked. They had to teach me how to put my own shoulder back in. It's awesome. And then sometimes it doesn't want to go back in and then I'm just screwed. I've never really had a huge I've just always been super cautious. And I was the kid that the other kids weren't allowed to play with. Because I was mouthy. that was my worst. That was my worst thing is I was mouthy. I was considered this horrible kid because I was so mouthy. I was the only one who wasn't pregnant by the time I got out of high school. I was the only one who didn't smoke, drink, or party. I was the one with straight A's, but I was the one that nobody was allowed to hang out with because I was mouthy. I personally think it's because we were poor. And that my mom smoked. That was a huge thing. A lot of my friends weren't allowed at my house because my mom smoked. My husband got an artificial elbow when he was 8. Run, I've read that sentence 3 times and I'm still confused. Is it weird that 5:30 isn't even weird to me anymore? I feel like it should be weird. I feel like I shouldn't be awake. But I am. Every day. All the time. I also feel like this thing does not want to focus on me unless I'm back here. Guys, I'm about done with my hair. I'm about done with my hair. It focuses better on me back here. I'm done. I've been tying it up in freaking ponytails. I don't know what to do with it. I fucking hate hair. Oh, okay. And my hair is hard to put up because I have an undercut. So, like, it sticks to the shaved part. And it's so frustrating. then I try to put my hair up and it just doesn't work. And I'm at that stage where it kind of goes up and it kind of doesn't. And then there's parts of it that wants to hang down, and I hate it. I hate it. I grew out my hair essentially to put it in a ponytail. Is that weird? I hate hair with a passion, dude. I cannot explain to you how much I hate hair. Yeah. I feel like I need to start wearing my glasses. My eyes don't want to focus anymore. They don't focus very well. I definitely need them, but I can't stand wearing them because the second that they get a smudge on them, I'm done. And I can't wear contacts because they're creepy. Contacts are creepy. I couldn't do it. You don't like Alabama much no more? Did the state of Alabama wrong you? Well, people are volatile everywhere. And that's everywhere. Oh, okay. I hate Michigan. I hated Michigan the whole time growing up. Hated it. I couldn't wait to leave. I never thought I would. Never in my life thought I would. Never thought I would see where I live now. And now I live here. It was weird. My whole life I barely went anywhere. Couldn't afford to go anywhere. So I grew up literally on the border of Ohio. And like the farthest I'd ever been was into Toledo. Until I was probably in my 20s. I remember the first time, it was 2001, so I was about 19. No. I didn't make it to the UP until I was in my 20s. I did go to Canada, though. I went to Canada when I was a teenager all the time. I did. I went to Cedar Point when my uncle took me there once in the back of a pickup truck. Remember those days? He had a cab. He had a cab on it. It was okay, but I went to Cedar Point that time. Didn't really do a whole lot. Went to Cedar Point in my 7th grade trip, and I think those are the only 2 times I went to Cedar Point. Cedar Point's not a thing for me. I don't like it. There's no point. The only thing I did when I went to the first time I went to Cedar Point, we were just at a hotel and I used the pool. And the second time I went, all I did was go on the cable cars and Snake River Falls. I almost fell out of Snake River Falls. That was terrifying. I literally almost fell out of Snake River Falls. But I just wanted to stand on the bridge, and the only way you could stand on the bridge was to actually do the ride first. So I did the ride, almost fell out of it. It was awesome. And then I just rode the cable cars back and forth. That was my big thing. I just cable cars. I've never had a problem with heights. My husband hates heights. Heights are not a problem for me. We did go to Put-in-Bay. We went there on my 6th grade trip, and I went there 2 or 3 times after that. You gotta take a boat to get there. Yeah. I'd been to Put-in-Bay a few times, but didn't really do a whole lot. We didn't really go anywhere. Like, me and my mom never vacationed anywhere. The best we ever did was my uncle would go camping about 30 minutes southwest of us, and we would go with him on occasion. I've never been to any of the places. I've never been to Kings Island, Six Flags, SeaWorld, Disneyland, any of that shit. Never went to any of that. Still haven't. Still haven't. I don't like rides, so I don't need to go anywhere where there's rides. I'm not going to ride them anyways. I'm going to pay $40 to get into a place to do fuck all nothing and pay an exorbitant amount for food that sucks. So I'm not the best person to take to an amusement park for sure. There's just no point for me. Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, I've heard of Knott's, but I've never been. My mom worked, and like, she would bring me home. I remember this. This will tell you how old I am. My mom would bring me home a Big Mac combo from work. She didn't work at McDonald's. She just drove by it on the way home. And it was $3.17 out the door with tax. It used to be $2.99. Yeah. You can barely get a cheeseburger for that now. But yeah, I had fast food growing up. I did have that. But like me and my mom, we didn't do anything. I never went to the movies with her, not once. We never went on any type of vacation. Didn't do anything. I watched a lot of movies. A lot of movies. That's what we did, was we watched movies at home. Yeah, foam container McDonald's back in the day. Yeah, foam container for sure. Yeah. I remember, do you guys remember when Wendy's had Kaiser buns? That was the best thing ever, and they got rid of them, and now I'm sad. I miss that. Yeah, I had the McDonald's where everything was metal, the metal slides and the metal. There was none of this plastic shit. It was all metal. Burn your ass metal. They don't make slides normal anymore. The kind you could, run up. I had pictures of me and my mom at the McDonald's playground. I was like 17 months old. And there was all like this like AstroTurf, and then there was nothing but metal everything. I never went to Belle Isle. I can't even function right now. The fuck? Like, I wasn't kidding. Like, look, metal. Remember back in the day? Metal. Everything was metal. Look at the little hamburger, the little ride thing. Everything was metal. Metal. As far as the eye could see, just metal. Belle Isle. It's a thing in Michigan, Belle Isle. Oh, God, what? There's a Kid Rock Uncle Cracker song, and I can hear "And Back to Belle Isle." I can't remember which. Probably is that having a lot like Detroit, probably, but it was talking about Belle Isle, and it's in a Kid Rock song. No, that's not it. That's definitely not it. Yes. Heaven. It is. It's by heaven. Heaven ain't a lot like Detroit. I don't wanna go. It's a play on another song. From the Mississippi River on back to Belle Isle. Yep. There it is. I knew it was in some type of fucking Uncle Cracker Kid Rock song. Yeah, they replaced all the metal slides with plastic because kids were burning themselves. We played with lawn darts, dude. Have you ever seen a lawn dart? lawn darts got illegal about the time I was 13. We still had them. You ever played with a lawn dart? Depends on the part of Detroit you drive through. When I adopted my daughter, she was in a residency on 7 Mile. And in order to get this to this particular portion of 7 Mile, everything was burnt down. Like all around this residency, everything was burnt down or caved in. It was not in a good portion of town. They always talk about 8 Mile, man. 7 Mile looked like a war zone. Absolute war zone. Yeah, lawn darts are wild, dude. Like you could die with lawn darts. Yeah, you could die with lawn darts easy. I mean, you have to imagine it was a lawn dart, and the nose of it was this long, and you throw them up in the air, and if somebody wasn't paying attention, you could literally skewer somebody to death. It was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, we had to take, I can't even remember the way we went, but my God, it was wild. It literally looked like just a bomb had fallen on 7 Mile. Everything was burnt or decrepit or falling in. You couldn't tell if people were living there or not. It still looks like that. Yeah, I haven't been there. And when I went back up to Michigan 2 years ago, we didn't like adventure up there or anything. We basically stayed in like Metro Detroit, Taylor, Flat Rock, that type area. You live in Michigan but haven't been to Detroit. So okay. So where on the mitten do you live? You could always tell somebody in Michigan because they would go like this. Like I lived here. I lived here, like right there. So my husband worked here and here. My friend lived here. My ex lived there. I used to love to go up here. Up here's banjo country. Don't want to do that ever again. I made it up to the UP. We were supposed to stay there for like 3 days. I stayed one night and was like, I gotta go. We ended up in Traverse City for the remainder of the time. It was so bad. So bad, dude. It's beautiful. Scary. We went to Quamanon Falls, which is really pretty. You live in the country? Yeah. Monroe was weird because like it was very industrial. So like this whole section of Michigan is weird. Like you get here, it's gorgeous. Everything from here on is nice, but like this whole little section right here sucks. And that's where I spent my entire life. In this flat fucking industrial shithole. So I hated it. I'd been to Kentucky like once before we moved here. I was in the truck with my husband and we happened to drive into Kentucky. I got out of the semi and it was like hilly. And I was like, yeah, I'm never coming back here. And then I moved here. You've never been to that section? Just stay away from it. It's awful. It's so bad, dude. I couldn't wait to get out of Michigan. I had to wait till my mom died though, because it was really just me and her. I couldn't just like leave her there. So, and she refused to move. So I had to wait till she died. She died in March. I was looking at my house. I looked down here for a house in May. As soon as she died, I'm like, I'm out. I gotta go. I can't deal with this. Detroit actually, it's weird because Detroit, well, the shitty part of Detroit isn't that big. It's like 7, 8, 9 mile, and it only goes about this. So the really shitty part of Detroit isn't that big. However, when you are driving through on I-75 and you aren't paying attention and you accidentally get off on like John R., get back on I-75 very quickly. Yeah. There's definitely parts you want to stay away from for sure. But it's frustrating. Like Kid Rock was not from Detroit. He always talked about Detroit. He's not from Detroit. He's a rich boy from like here. He was not from Detroit. I've been to Lansing a few times. My grandfather, well, I use that term loosely because apparently he's not my grandfather, but he was murdered in Ypsi. I went to where he was murdered because I'm morbid and I wanted to see the area. And by the time I got there, it was basically a field. There was nothing really around. But yeah, he was murdered somewhere in Tuttle Hill Road in Ypsi. My husband worked over, well, I swear, I always say he worked here because we went to Benton Harbor a few times, but apparently he worked over here somewhere, I think. But for a while, he was opening this account over in Grand Rapids. He was teaching people in Grand Rapids. So I went to Ann Arbor fairly frequently. I mean, frequent enough. Dearborn. Spent a lot of time in Dearborn at the mall. It's a nice mall. Best mall we had. Spent most of my time in Taylor. They call it Taylor, Tucky. I think it's funny. I live in Kentucky now. We used to drive down to Ohio to get gas and cigarettes because we only lived like 15 miles from Ohio border. So that was me and my mom's big thing. We'd drive down to Toledo. We'd fill up our tank. She'd get, cigarettes, whatever. It was cheaper down there. Yeah. As soon as you cross the border, gas went down by 50 cents a gallon. So it was, but then again, I'm going to blow your minds. Back when I was 16, gas was 79 cents a gallon. And when it would go up a little bit, we'd go down to Toledo and get gas there. Novi, yeah. I had friends that lived in Novi. So we did the whole Farmington Hills, Novi. Yeah. 7 mile, 8 mile was a wild ride. Because if you took it up 275, 7 mile, 8 mile was real Richie over in like Farmington Hills. And if you just took 8 mile, 7 mile, 9 mile, and you just took it, you literally watch it go from rich to okay to desolate apocalypse land. It was a wild trip. Yeah, nobody misses Ohio. Ohio sucks. You love Ohio? Really? Ohio's the worst part of going back to Michigan. Ohio is awful to drive through. When you drive from Kentucky to Michigan, I have to drive like 3 hours through Kentucky, and then I got to drive 3 hours through Ohio to get to Michigan. And the worst part of the trip, hands down, is driving 75 through Ohio. It's corn, it's flat, it's about 85 miles an hour. Oh, can't say nothing. When you get in Detroit, if you don't go 80, you're gonna die. Literally. I remember I used to go to college on 9 Mile. A decent mart in Southgate. Southgate 9 Mile. And I remember every time I'd come home from college down 75 to get home, there was this group of crotch rockets, and they would do about 100, 110. And I remember calling on them one time because I almost flattened one of them. And they're like, yeah, we know about them. Okay. Why don't you try stopping them? Because they weren't smart crotch rocket riders. They were the idiots that were 5 in a bunch and they'd weave in and out of traffic. And you'd try not to make them a speed bump, but it was really hard. Oh my God. I literally would fall asleep driving home because college got out at 10:30 at night. I went to trade school and I went to the night class. So like we'd leave in the afternoon and we'd get there, and college was like 4 or 5 hours. And then class got over at 10:30. Then I'd have to drive the hour home. And I don't know how many times, like I remember one time I was driving home and I went like this and I opened my eyes and the car next to me, like I could touch the car next to me. And I'm like, this sucks, dude. Highway hypnosis was so real, dude. Because it's so flat. It's so boring. It's so like driving in Michigan, like you will literally fall asleep. It's just flat. It's flat and it's just straight. It's straight and it's flat. Like it's hard not to fall asleep. It's so hard not to fall asleep. And it's wild when you drive down here. Like when we first moved down here, like I was crying my head off. I was like, I will never drive in Kentucky. Like I went from here. Now thinking back now, it's so funny because it's 6 minutes for me probably. And I remember just freaking out. I'm like, I will never be able to drive in Kentucky. Driving in Kentucky is not for the weak. When we would miss school in Michigan, we'd have to have about 18 inches of snow. And even then, you still may go to school with 18 inches of snow. It just depends. Kentucky closes school with a half an inch. And when we first moved down here, we were like, these people, why can you not drive in half an inch of snow? Because it's ice. It's ice. Everything is ice. Because Kentucky doesn't get a lot of snow, it gets a lot of ice. Because it rains constantly. Winter is rain. So then if it dips and it get like, and everything in Kentucky is a hill. Like my land is 2 hills. It goes straight, my house, my backyard. So getting out of my driveway is almost impossible sometimes. One time in Michigan, I was driving and it was snowy and icy and whatever, straight road. And I don't know what happened. I hit a patch of ice and I spun and I landed in a parking lot. And I landed with my nose facing the street. And right as I landed, this huge 18-wheeler blew by my car. Like I could feel the whole thing. Like if I would have been 2 inches more, I'd have been done. I mean, he was trucking full speed when I spun out. Yeah, the amount of just muscle memory to drive in Michigan. Like you could just get in your car and you would just end up wherever the hell you were supposed to end up. Like where I'm from anyways, everything is gridded. So there's like a main road and everything just grids off the main road. Like if you pull up a map of my hometown, everything is gridded. And like Kentucky is so not gridded. Kentucky is just, it's like they just decided to throw roads wherever they just thought a road should go. And there's so many roads that make zero fuck all sense where I am now. Whereas where I was before, like everything, it was easy, like super easy. And here it's not like that at all. You just have weird roads that just jut off into fucking nowhere. Yeah, you don't get a lot of snow days when you're up north, that's for sure, because we all know how to drive in it. So, I mean, it's got to be bad to have a snow day. Nice. I didn't take 94 a whole lot. 94, definitely not 96. I took 94 more than I took 96. I spent most of my time on 275. I would get in my car in Monroe and I would take 275 till it ended up by like Farmington, where it would go into the other, whatever the other road was, 5 or 6 or something. I would just take 275 until it ended. I'd get off on 12 mile. Get off on 12 mile. I would drive all the way down 12 mile to Telegraph. Take Telegraph all the way home. Like that was a thing for me. I'd up this way, and then drive down Telegraph home. And I would do that all the time. Or I would drive up 275, get off on Eureka, take Eureka all the way to where it hit the fucking road that like there's no point in taking, and then I would take that home. Yeah. I hated driving by that airport. Oh my God, I would gun it driving by Detroit Metro because I was always worried a plane was going to land on me. Oh yeah, black ice is real. When you get black ice in Kentucky, you're going to be lucky if you live. Not even kidding. If you hit black ice, Kentucky, one of the really weird things, really bad things about Kentucky, when you go to like Michigan or even Ohio, there's shoulders. So if you're driving and something happens, you pull onto a shoulder. Kentucky does not understand what shoulders are. So there's like no shoulders. And then on top of that, a lot of where I'm at in Kentucky is literally like the end of the mountains. So like you can literally be driving up a mountain and there's no guardrails. Like no guardrails. So if you go off, you're just done. And one time I took my daughter to go get some pictures. I think I was up by the Arbitrarium, I think. And there was a road and it was called Primitive, whatever the fuck the road was. It said Primitive. And I'm like, oh, this sounds fun. It's primitive. It's got to be cool, right? No, it was, I don't know how we lived. First of all, there was a portion where it was like a bridge, except it was one lane and part of it was crumbling on the right side. And I'm like, how? We had to drive over it. We didn't have a choice because everything was like one lane. And like if another car came, we were fucked. Well, we're driving down. We made it over that. We're driving down and a car was coming this direction. And I'm like, how are we going to fit 2 cars on this one lane road? They expect you to do that in Kentucky. If you go out if you go out to like Flatlick Falls, if you go to Flatlick Falls to get to the falls or away from the falls, it's essentially it's like a 1.5 lane road. But the kicker is the road on either side just goes and just dumps off. So you got to you have to finagle your way because if you try to move over too much, you'll tip your car. It's wild. Driving in Kentucky, like if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna flip your car and die. Like I'm not even joking. It's bad. Also, they will just abandon their cars. Like if their car breaks down in Kentucky, they will just put it on the side of the road. And like we passed the same car for a month. They never came and got it. Like it just sat there. And I'm like, when I lived in Michigan, if your car, you got a tag that first day, you had 3 days to move your car or they impounded it. Kentucky, you could just there's still a car. When I drive for my husband's work, there's been a car on the side of the road tilted on the side road, just tilted. And it's been there for 2 weeks. No tag, nothing. They don't care. You can just leave your car, walk away. They don't care. 0 fucks. They don't care. Get your key unstuck from the gas. Oh, the gas tank key on the motorcycles. Those aren't fun. My husband kept losing his motorcycle key because they're about that big. He would go tearing through the house. I can't find my keys. That's because they're this big. Motorcycle keys suck, dude. So when I went to school, my teachers, my friend, whatever, they'd always say I smelled like smoke. I had no idea what they were talking about, dude. I had no idea. I have no like my whole entire school year, like graduate whole nine. I never knew it smelled like smoke meant. I moved out when I was 19. That was between 19 and 21 was so weird for me, but I don't have a lot of memories of it. And I moved out, and I realized after I moved out that when I came home and I would open the door at my mom's house, I realized how awful it smelled. And I would do my laundry at my mom's house, and simply washing my clothes, putting them in the dryer, and putting them in a bag and tying it up did not take the smoke smell out, because at that point the smoke smell was even in the dryer. And so like my clothes always smelled just stale. Oh, look, my Walmart packages have shipped. Yay. Um it was awful. Like and I finally understood what they meant by like everybody always said I smelled like smoke. While I went to school, and I didn't know what that meant because I was in it all the time, so I didn't know any different. And only when I moved out did I realize what that meant. And I never allowed anybody ever. I still don't allow people to smoke cigarettes in my house. I never have. Pissed my mom off so bad. I had to buy her an electric ashtray for when she came over, and she would have to put the cigarette into the electric ashtray so it would suck up the smoke. And it still infuriated me that I had to do that. So I went to her house most of the time. I hate the smell of stale smoke. I can smell it on somebody a mile away now. Like a mile away. I went out with my friend, and like I was at her house, and she smokes in her house. It's her house, you know. And I was coming home, and my husband gets in the car. He goes, "Why do you smell like smoke?" I was at my friend's house. She smoked like one cigarette. I was sitting across the living room. He's like, "Well, I just want to know why you smell like smoke." I'm like, "Yeah." I could smell. I had to come home and immediately shower. I cannot stand smoke. Like I said, if vaping goes sideways, I'm done. I hate the smell of stale smoke. My eye. So very frustrating. And like a lot of places we went, like they didn't want my mom smoking, so she just wouldn't go. So I didn't get to go a whole lot of places. Of course, I mean, I don't know how many people are in here that remember what it was like when like Burger King had a smoking section and a non-smoking section. And you could literally smoke inside Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's. There was a smoking section and a non-smoking section, which was pointless because by the time you smoked, it was in every section. That was always so frustrating. Yeah. Like by the time you got done, you're like everywhere smelled like smoke. Yeah, oh yeah, they had all yeah. I remember in Wendy's, they would have, I don't know if y'all's was like this, but they had the glass dome side. There was like a side. It was our Burger King actually, where it was like a glass section. There was no like extra doors or anything like that, but that was where you went down to smoke, and it was pointless because it was not closed off from the rest of the restaurant. So it was like the whole place smelled like smoke anyways. So what the fuck was the difference? And then like we would go to the bars to do karaoke, and I hated it because I could not stand the smell of the fucking bars. I went literally just to sing, and like my husband would drink a little bit. I'd be the designated driver. I spent my whole life being the designated driver between my mom and my husband and my friends. I never drank when we went anywhere. because my view was, and I guess this is just growing up poor. When you go to a bar, one beer's at the time, like I don't know what it's like now. I have no idea. We don't have bars here. One beer was like $4 to $5, and you could get a 6-pack for that price. Like, to me, it was pointless. I'm like, why would you spend $12 on 3 beers when you can go buy a 6-pack for $6? Like, but we don't have bars here. You can drink at actually, you can't even drink at that Applebee's. It's considered dry. Our one Walmart won't even sell beer. Like, it's considered a dry county. So, like, we don't have bars. I like it because, like, when I lived in Monroe, like, we had an entire section of Front Street that was just literally, you could bar crawl, we could pub crawl. You literally go from bar to bar to bar to bar to bar to bar to bar. And like, my town doesn't have a bar. There's something that's kind of a bar downtown, kind of. Not really sure how much of a bar it is. I've never went in there. But it's not like your bar. It's like a bar where you have food. It's like a bar and grill. My mom worked in bars where it was, there was a bar and it was drinking and smoking and those fucking little computer games. They put one of those computer things and you could play like pop tabs and shit on the thing. Actual bar, like, they had food, but like, it was bar food. It wasn't like bar and grill food. It was like, hey, I've drank entirely too much. Can you make me a burger that I'm not going to taste? It was like that type of thing. We had like bars. And we had as many bars as we had churches. So it was really, really weird. Could you guys snore any louder? Where's Buddy? Okay. 3 of you all packed together. Buddy living in his little thing by himself, and Yoda over there on a pillow. So. I remember when refills weren't a thing. When they got the pop machines, that was really new. Could never get refills. If you were lucky, a place would give you one, but not very often. Then they got the pop machines. My husband, to this day, will still go on and on about the fact that you can't have supersized fries anymore. That like really chaps his ass. He really misses the supersized fry. Although I can't say anything because now they have at certain McDonald's they have baskets of fries. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I know it's a thing in Kentucky and Tennessee anyway. It's essentially like a large and a medium, and it comes in a basket. It's weird. It's not everywhere. I've only been to 3 or 4 McDonald's that have it, but it's weird. We have a McDonald's here. You can't even get refills at it anymore. It's so frustrating. And they charge too much for the pop. They charge more for pop than they do at any other McDonald's, and you can't get refills. I try not to go there anymore. These lights should be shutting off soon. All right. Well, I think I'm going to go do something. I don't know what, but I think I'm going to go do something. Maybe read. I don't know. But I appreciate everybody showing up in the ass of the fucking night. I appreciate y'all. Even you quiet ones that never said a goddamn word. So, I'll be on tonight, 8 o'clock, per usual. So, I'll see you.